Don Lemon, past his prime. It's too bad. And now he's on his own, where his lack of talent shows.
But CNN is generally considered left.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Why do I say CNN is generally considered left? I think if you look at any sort of media survey of what is on the left or right, I think they would say, like, for example, Fox is on the right and CNN is on the left.
Yeah. So that's what is it?
Am I missing something here?
So Lemon doesn't think CNN's on the left. That should kind of tell you exactly how ignorant he is. This is how Lemon spiked the football on air after Trump got banned from Twitter. Watch.
President's Twitter feed, the one he has been permanently barred from, the one he is whining about how they've taken away his freedom of speech. The fact is, these are private companies. They have no obligation to have anyone on their platforms.
Now,
see, it's always interesting when you hear that people talk about like that, like Don Lemon, whatever you want to call him, because they'll say that they have no obligation to have you on their platform. But then at the same time, if Elon Musk decides to say whatever he wants on his platform, then it's he's pushing propaganda or he's controlling the media and things such as that. So if you can censor a president, why, if you have that ticket, you can censor a president, then tell me exactly why you have any issue with what Elon Musk does and you're running the Blue Sky or whatever the new platform is. It sounds stupid. I mean, I see why he's not on major news networks, not like people watch him anymore, but it's terrible takes.
Singing a different tune after Elon canceled the
stupidity. You have been co-opted because you're in a cult and you don't even realize it because you have stupid MAGA brain and you don't get it. How stupid.
What is MAGA brain? That's hilarious. Stupid MAGA brain. He has woke brain. What does that mean?
Dumb are you?
'Tis the season to be merry. Former CNN host Don Lemon goes on an expletive-laden rant about President Trump's supporters over the H-1B visa feud with Elon Musk. Tiffany Marie Brandon is a political strategist and the host of TMB Problem.
Has anyone ever noticed the main propaganda pushers against like MAGA, and they're always pushing against white supremacy and all that type of stuff? Do you ever notice, and I have no issue with the people that are married to people, mixed race couples. You ever notice they're always married to their oppressor? Like Don Lemon is married to a gay white gentleman, but he constantly is pushing and talking about race being an issue. It's just interesting always seeing that. It's like, I know they try to pull this veil over people's eyes all the time, but are people this dumb? Like, being truly honest, like, are we this dumb that every single time they push all this propaganda, we think that, okay, wow, they really care about the black race. They really care about people being hurt and things such as that. And you turn around and they're always married to a white person. They ain't that bad. Obviously, it can't be that bad if you're married to one, but maybe I'm just stupid.
Podcast, and she joins me now, Tiffany. And the left wonders why people say they have Trump derangement syndrome.
Tell me about it. It's completely out of control. I mean, call us stupid, and it's just not even a matter of contention at this point.
But lest you think it's just Mr. Lemon, it's not just sour grapes from that lemon. We have two other folks who are making their voices heard, political commentators on the left, Jennifer Rubin from the Washington Post, and Rick Wilson from the Lincoln Project. You know, those people that hate Donald Trump and literally every single thing he does. Take a listen.
All those MAGA readers out there, now you'll notice the contradiction in terms, MAGA readers would pick up the Washington Post and they would have more readers. What is the logical fallacy here? Yes, reader.
The guy with the GED and his fake Oakley sunglasses, his goatee, and his pickup truck, the universal Twitter bro, that guy's thinking to himself,
Wait, time out. Wouldn't the left call this, what's the word I'm looking for? Wouldn't they call that putting people in a box being racist? Wouldn't they call that, what they push with Biden, ageism, what they push with gay rights, what they push with black people, everyone doesn't fit into a box. How do you create this box for MAGA? People that believe in Donald Trump doesn't have to be. They're not people that wear fake Oakleys and sit on Twitter. I don't even have social media. YouTube is my only thing I really have. And why do you think that they fit in that box? And you'll get guys like this who actually think they sound smart, and then you get other ladies like that who says MAGA got people don't read, and then they get these platforms and they wonder why people like literally are not listening to what they have to say. It sounds stupid. I'm just being fully transparent. It actually sounds ridiculous to keep saying that every MAGA person they run into fits in this fake box that they keep wanting to put people in. So I guess I'm a Oakley wearing non-reading mug, all right? And I'm not a huge MAGA lover. There's things I'm going to disagree with, but I think that's the good thing about it. People feel more comfortable being on this side where you can disagree and still have a country, right? And still have, still be able to vote freely and talk about the things that you care about. Where on the other side, if they're all for me being black, but if I don't support one thing that they don't like, it's well, you're not with us any longer. So this guy sounds like an idiot. I mean, he sounds like a freaking idiot. He sounds like the people. Look at his background. He looks like the people that he's talking about.
The senior software designer at Google, if only it weren't for DEI or immigration.
Now,
I'm gonna hear. Let's see what Stephen A has to say about this.
That it's all about America. It's all about America. And anything that contributes to America being number one is something that we should support. That has to be his argument. And it gets very, very interesting because now it's a debate. And having that debate, here's where the advantage is. At least in the Trump administration, there appears to be a debate allowed.
Correct. I just said that.
What has ailed the Democrats?
You can't
It's
talk.
not an ideology alone. It's not their feelings alone. It's the fact that if you refuted what they said, if you are part of their party, cancel culture kicked in. If you are not a part of their party, it was ostracism, and it was ultimately hate mongering and fear mongering that were thrown into the equation. There was no room for a debate.
Yeah. So there's no debate, right? If you even talk about anything they don't agree with, there's no discussion. You have this far left side, or you have agree with me or get canceled, right? And I think even guys like Stephen A., even though he plays the fence a lot, I think now he's trying to come out and talk about it more because he sees that more than 50% of the country actually agrees with, I don't want to be able to not say certain words, and I don't want to be canceled, and I don't believe in cancel culture, and I don't want my children to hear certain things and see certain things. I don't like paying too many taxes. I don't like not knowing where my tax money dollars are going, or they're going to illegal immigrants and things like that. He has more passion about these things because he knows he's with the majority now. So I hear what he's saying now with these takes, but I don't 100% respect it because you didn't hear the aggression in his voice prior to him seeing where the bulk of the country was going. So like Stephen A. for sports takes, but sometimes it seems like he jumped on the winning side now. So it's interesting. Let's hear what he says.
And enough voices weren't being heard. Diversity amongst those voices not being heard. You're black, you're white, you're gay, you're lesbian, you're heterosexual, you're transgender. It don't matter. You still had to have one form of thinking if you fell under their umbrella. Otherwise, you were pushed out. If Trump is saying there needs to be a healthy debate about America first, meaning the country, or America first, meaning people born in this country, and sacrificing the best that may exist out there across the globe, and that's a discussion that's worth having, all of a sudden that opens the floodgates for an abundance of other things that we can discuss. But most importantly, I agree with the idea of there being an open, robust debate about it, because it is not something that the Democrats allow. The Democrats stopped letting people decide. One could easily argue. Their mentality seemed to be you must obey the party line or you're out in your ass. That seemed to be what they were saying. Censorship, cancer culture. There was no debate. That's why they're home. And Donald Trump is on his way back to the White House.
See, hindsight is so 2020, right? Because it's just crazy hearing him talk like this, because even prior to the election, he didn't have this much oomph in his voice. So you knew all these things. You knew that you couldn't say certain things because you're paid by ESPN, you're paid by media, and you were afraid to get canceled. You even still don't speak on certain things, right? But now you pick the losing side. He voted. He talks about it all the time. He voted for Kamala, but you just recognize all these issues, and you still voted for Kamala Harris. I'm just not getting. I'm not getting where this great awakening is coming from now.
Look, everything's a possibility, right? And so let me get to the...
Even Vivek now is having a great awakening now. He feels as though this is the side that you can speak and you can be heard. So it's been interesting seeing his evolvement from him going on Turning Point and things such as that. Now he's not as progressive as he was prior, and he wants to have discussion. So this is all interesting.
Why I love all of this. Because, guys, in the bad old days, whether it was Mitch McConnell as the leader of the Republican Party, or George W. Bush or Dick Cheney, or Donald Trump in his first term, they would just give an order and all the Republicans would go, yes, sir, right? And now orders are given and people go, maybe, sir, but maybe not. And then we get into this giant, messy fight. That is way better than one person gives an order, one person's completely in charge, and everybody is in a cult and they do exactly what they're told, right?
But they all knew this. The progressive side is a cult. And we just don't know who that person was that was giving the orders and that everyone had to agree with, or they were canceled. So why are they acting as though like the MAGA side was that so aggressively when they all knew we went towards a side where you couldn't even speak out against someone who had progressive beliefs and you weren't okay with it? You couldn't speak out against what your children learned in school because that progressive gatekeeper told you couldn't, or you would get canceled if you said something. So why are they acting as though? I'm not getting it now. All right, so he's addressing the MAGA folks in the right-wing media, this is an interesting take completely by Don Lemon. People call him Lemon. It's an interesting take that he wants to address the right-wing media. I've seen a lot of his things during the election where he was talking and going to Atlantic City, all these random states, swing states, and he was talking to people. And a lot of people weren't these MAGA people he's talking about. These were normal, regular people that just had normal, regular beliefs. So what they do is they create these straw man arguments and try to create these wild, middle of the country, I only wear red, white, and blue all day demographic of people and try to act like that's the majority of people that voted this year. And that's who's pushing all this stuff. And it's like I said, they create this aggressor or this certain type of mentality that a MAGA person or a person, let me stop saying MAGA, someone who voted for Trump has to have to make their argument make sense. But they are truly the people that really push a propaganda and really believe in one size or one ideal fits all mentality, right? It's just interesting hearing him trying to push that on people that voted for Trump when that's actually his side.
It's astounding, the hypocrisy. Now, let me just say this.
Anytime you hear the word hypocrisy with people on the progressive side, know that they're going to now project. They're going to start speaking on what things they do, and they're going to try to push it on people that believe in more conservative values. So we'll always look out. That should earmark that word. Hypocrisy means projections coming.
I said something in reference to, I was responding
to the MAGA folks who were being racist in regards to the gentleman that Donald Trump nominated to be the head of AI. They were on the internet, look it up yourself, being very racist and very vitriolic about Donald Trump appointing this person. And Vivek Ramaswamy got involved, and then he insulted, according to them, the MAGA people. Okay? So, as always, everybody gets all butthurt. I'm not referring to all of Trump supporters. I'm talking to the MAGA brain people who will say and do anything to make excuses for any behavior that Donald Trump does, any bad behavior that the MAGA movement does. So yes, I stand by my words. And if you don't like what I said, then too effing bad. I don't care. And let me point the hypocrisy out to you, because you guys always say, we are not voting for what? A pastor in chief. Sometimes I have an issue with some of the things that he says. It's true. I don't like how he says it, but it's true. So you have to have the same standards for other people that you have for your guy. Some of you, the cult leader, okay? You guys have a higher, this is how messed up you are. You have a higher expectation of me, an independent journalist, a former cable news host, than you do for the person who sits in the Oval Office.
Time out. Sorry, I don't pay for my YouTube, so we'll ignore this and let this pass. But he just said that we have a higher expectation on him, Don Lemon, someone who lies consistently about things that happen in the media, someone who is very, very one-sided, and we really don't believe many of the things that he says. And he usually, and to be honest with you, his daily life is not the majority of an average, to be honest with you, black man. So where do we hold him to a higher point than we hold the president? It's just interesting hearing him say that. I don't wake up and see it and question if Don Lemon is righteous. I'm just being fully honest. Like, I don't vote on the president to see if he's personally an amazing person. I want them to be somewhat a good person, right? But you vote on things such as where do you want your taxes, your daily life in regards to foreign affairs, things that go on a regular basis in your country, things that affect your life, right? You want a president that cares about those things and speaks to those things. You don't really care about the 5 women he slept with when he was 28, 30, 40. I mean, to be fully transparent, no one holds any president to contempt about those things. This is a brand new thing they started with President Trump, where, I mean, we've seen some of the craziest things happen in politics and no one cares, right? And it's just this brand new thing where now you have to be one of the 12 disciples if you're Republican. I mean, that's just crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, I muted him. He sounds better when he's muted too.
Me dumb, he calls people stupid. Because his mouth is worse than you do for the person who sits in the Oval Office. Because his mouth is worse than mine. He calls everybody dumb. He calls black women dumb. He's called me dumb. He calls people stupid. He's called...
I mean, how many times have the media called... They won't even say his name. How many times have they called him stupid? They won't even say his name. They won't respect him as a president. Even people that don't agree with President Biden, still call him President Biden. I've never called him nothing else. I never called him Biden, like by his first name. It's President Biden. It is what it is. It's funny that they're saying that, but you have people like Whoopi Goldberg, they wouldn't even say his name on their platform, but he's disrespectful. Or he calls someone dumb that has dumb takes. Okay.
Harris stupid. He's called her names. And he's used profanity against athletes. He called them sons of bees. He calls people out of their names all the time. And you love it. But when someone says the truth about you, you get all butthurt and you get all in your feelings. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
What's good for the Donald is good for the Don. So
he called himself the Don. Oh man, Don Lennon, you are hilarious tonight. The bravado is coming out. What's good for the Donald is good for the Don. I mean, no one's saying that you can't speak on what you believe. The problem is we don't believe what you say. That's as simple as what it is. We don't believe what you say. I mean, that's what it is. It's not really even a hard discussion. People don't believe in your propaganda any longer, and the only people that you have that listen to you are old people that are afraid. The only people you get are people that are weirdos and people that kind of just sit in their home afraid of life. I'm sorry to say, but like no one cares any longer what you're saying about this. Like your fake beliefs don't matter anymore, and you're slowly seeing it go on a downward spiral because more people are open to speaking out loud. Let me finish this up before my computer dies.
energy going into 2025 is this. When Donald Trump tones down his rhetoric, he stops calling people names, he stops being racist, he stops using profanity, then I will. Now.
Oh, the country's going to stop. Donald Trump's going to change who he is because of Don Lemon. This dude is full of himself. And I've never seen anything like this. Like, he sounds dumb. People voted for him to lower our cost of living. Stop all these illegal immigrants coming into the country. Change the hole that Biden put us into, right? Not to literally sit there and be like, okay, let me be a better person than Don Lemon. He is delusional.
When I was in legacy media, I would always say, if something didn't just tumble out of my mouth, because I sometimes forgot that I was on television. I always say my thing would be, what would Oprah do, right? Because Oprah was a mentor, right? What would Bryant do? What would Bryant Gumbel do? He's a mentor. What would those mentors do? Because that was a different time, traditional media. And what would Michelle Obama do, right? Because Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I love you, Michelle Obama. We can't do that in this environment. And I saw glimmers of that at the Democratic convention this year, when you and your husband, the former president, went off. I loved that energy. So sometimes, for the folks who are in traditional media, and you a certain way, and you operate on light and joy and, not offending people. Oprah, I love you, but sometimes, Gail, love you guys. Sometimes you need a proxy. I am your proxy. I am your anger translator. Like Barack Obama's anger translator.
All right. I'm gonna end it there. So now this is the muscle now for the Progressive Party, from what he's saying now. Don Lemon is the muscle for the progressive side. So what that means is, like playing sports, you figure out who's the tough guy on their team, and you see if you can run through him. Don Lemon is the tough guy on the progressive side. That's who he said, I'm taking that role. Full steam ahead. I'm seeing the green light. I see Don full steam ahead. He just said that he looked to Michelle Obama, Oprah. He said Brian Gumbel, something like that, right? It's okay. I fully understand the depression that they're going through and they're dealing with and some delusion, but at this point, the fear-mongering, they're going to turn fear-mongering into aggression, right? They're going to try to be the aggressive side. They're going to try to out-aggress the aggressor, if that's even a word. And you're not going to win on the game of being more aggressive than the other side when the other side is actually going towards a goal, and you guys are just trying to win this I want to be right discussion. So I'm going to end it here. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to be coming out with more of these videos. Don Lemon is sour right now.